What's good, everybody? This is Joseph. This is the first episode of the J Pod. I got my boy JP here with
Yes,
me.
sir.
This is our first episode. We're gonna go ahead and do a little Super Bowl reaction, talk about some things that we like. First things first, let's get out of the way. Let's introduce ourselves. I'll go ahead and start off first. My name's Joseph. I'm from New York, currently living in Florida. I know JP. We grew up on the same block. We've been friends for years. We'll be talking about football, basketball, a little bit of baseball, maybe a little bit of golf. We're kind of into everything here. As you can see, if you're watching this video, I have a 49ers Trey Lance jersey on. That's my football team. Ride or die, love them till the end.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we stand with me. I'll go ahead and pass the mic to JP, who's wearing a beautiful Saquon Barkley jersey.
Saquon, baby.
From
PSU gang.
Go ahead and tell everybody where you're from. What about yourself, man?
What's going on, guys? JP here. I was born and raised in Brazil, but grew up in New York. Me and Joey grew up on the same block. Glenwood Lane gang, baby. What's going on? Big Giants fan, Knicks fan all the way, Yankee guy, big soccer guy. Again, born in Brazil, so soccer is the way to go.
The way of life for you guys.
And, we need to reference here our SBL group chat, baby. That's what, we do all our sports talk. We got our boy Briz, got our boy Whipped Eagle as well. We got Airport Greg, got Fabian and Joe out there as well. So shout out to everybody.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Let's get it going, man. Come on, SBL.
I would say that's where most of our sports topics come in, bro. If it wasn't for the group chat,
sports talk, crazy talk, we do it all there, man.
And I feel like that's where everybody starts their sports talk,
Yeah.
All right, so shit.
Do it all. Let's go.
Let's talk about the hottest thing right now, bro. It's a Monday morning. It is February 13th. It is the day after Super Bowl 57, where the Chiefs won 38-35, correct? And because you had that bet for
man.
39,
oh my
35.
God, man, I'm so pissed. I had 39-35, $15 bet to make 7 bands. Jesus off Christ. By a point, man. Oh, crazy. Disappointing.
But dude, like I showed you, Chris had one for he put $50 on it. It was 38-30 was the final score for fucking 21 grand, bro.
Crazy. I mean, I know 39 was a rough number. Yeah. But I don't know. I just felt it. I picked it and off by a point, bro. So
but realistically, like be honest, where were you getting a 39 from?
I don't know. I mean, I thought about the 9, 3 field goals, and I just, just a feeling. I just placed a bet.
Yeah.
I mean, close enough. And to be honest, I didn't think that the Eagles could get to 35.
Nah,
I thought the 35 was harder than the 39, but it was the opposite.
Yeah. See,
and then I also had Miles Sanders first TD, and he had 2 chances before the other guy got it.
And they called the flag, right?
They called the flag on, and I was like, come on, man. So I mean. Close. Yeah, man. But I did hit the money line on the Kansas City. So
yeah, bro. I hammered the over. It was 51. I thought personally it was gonna be a 28-24 type game. 35-30 was heaven to me, bro.
So we're close. I mean, we're both headed by what, a field goal?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So not too bad.
All right. So let's recap the game. Super Bowl 57. Great game, classic game. I think I would say
one of the best. I think no.
Yeah, oh, definitely. If you like offense, that game was for you. I just like both teams. Obviously, diehard Niners fan. Niners beat us fucking a couple years ago. Oh, fuck Philly. Just being from New York, we don't fuck with Philly. Of course, I'm still sore from 2 weeks ago, but that's another topic. So start off like this. Of course, like we said, classic game. They're saying that a call, that holding call at the end of the game by Bradbury, who Deebo Samuel recently called trash. But again, another story. Was it holding?
It was holding.
100%.
100%.
Like Christian said, this shouldn't be a topic. Bradbury said it was holding. However, what I want to say is, we know players get criticized after. Players get fined if you criticize the ref. I'm wondering if that's like triple, quadruple a fine if you do it after the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
And that's kind of why Bradbury was like, let me take this L here.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, honestly, the question is, I know it's the right call, but do you make that call at that time in the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
That's the question. Do you let it go? I mean, tough to say. Again, right call, right timing. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was watching Get Up this morning, and Arlovsky was, he was completely against it. And I get it. I get the people who are against it. I think they called one penalty all game on both teams, one each. And you call it there. It's rough. It's a rule. Another interesting take that I heard on Get Up was that homie fucking James Bradbury was wearing, I think, black gloves with white sleeves against a guy in a white jersey. So you saw the hand the whole way. You saw the
that's true. You know what? That's a good point. I mean, how much does that really matter? They go, if I don't know, can they go to the booth at that point and review? on
It was under 2 minutes, right?
yeah, so they don't go. Yeah, so that makes a difference. Because if you go to the booth, you're gonna see white gloves or black gloves,
Yeah.
regardless, right?
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
you don't, I mean, yeah, maybe, man,
I
maybe.
think it was I think it was very very ticky tacky, but no, 100% it was a hold.
Yep. But now, I
Bradbury.
mean, honestly, I still think the Chiefs get a field goal,
I was gonna say the
regardless.
same thing. Yeah.
Now, whether, Philly comes back, I don't know.
Yep.
They'll probably have what, 90 seconds, maybe, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Could they? Yes, but it's a stretch. I still like Kansas City in that spot, to be
A hundred
honest.
percent, 100%. I'm with you. I think even if that wasn't a hold, I think that would look. I should have taken better notes, but I think that was third down. They were about to get the
Yep.
field goal.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
and I think Philly had no timeouts left. So I mean,
Yep.
Jalen Hurts is great, but look, you take. I feel like in that situation, 2 minutes left, you take a big part away from his game. He can't
Yes.
really scramble up the middle. If he does and gets tackled,
Yes.
that's time off the clock.
Yeah.
It's similar to what was it last year with the whole Dak Prescott 19 seconds
Yep.
against the Niners thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, I do think the Chiefs win regardless.
Yeah.
Holding, not holding. Either I think they win. That's Mahomes.
Yeah.
Which look, I mean, I feel like we hit on that. Did you have anything else to say about the holding? Because if
Yeah,
not,
no, the holding, no. I mean, I'm thinking here, my question to you is the whole way the game ended, right? With them taking a knee and milking
yeah,
out the clock and now going for the touchdown there. How do you feel about that? Because, some people are like, you got to do what you got to do. Super
mhm,
Bowl, you got to win it. But then it's also like a little pussy play kind of, no?
yeah.
Like, so where do you stand on that? You
Oh
taking the dub ski or,
man, look, as much as I dislike the Chiefs and as much as I dislike the Eagles, bro, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta
yeah,
do what you
yeah,
gotta do. You
yeah,
don't get chances like this to get a Super Bowl unless
yeah.
unless you're Patrick Mahomes, which segues us to our next point. Um, you know, we'll start with this. Do you think Mahomes is the GOAT? Off the bat, I'm gonna say no, but let me hear what you
No,
gotta say.
no chance. I
Not
mean, not
yet.
yet, not yet. I mean, I think Brady by his fifth year, he had three, I'm
Yep.
gonna say. Now we all know defense carried him most of the way there. He wasn't, the Brady we know, but
Yep.
he had three. And everybody's like, look, Pat got two. He's young. He's 27. More, if he keeps, I mean, he wins like 40% of the Super Bowls, right? Like, it's his fifth year, so more or less 40% chance he's gonna win a Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
If you factor 10 more years of game, I mean, he's gonna be by, close to 6, 7. I mean, that's Brady territory. But don't forget, Brady at the same time, he, when by 27, he had three. And if at that time, if you did the math, he was projected to have 8, 9, 10. So you see, like, I don't know. I mean, he has potential. I don't think he'll
100%.
he'll pass Brady in Super Bowl rings. I think he'll have all the stats though.
Mhm.
But you never know. I mean,
Yeah. No.
Andy Reid
100%.
retiring. If Andy Reid retires, I don't know. I
I
don't know.
I I love Andy Reid. By the way,
Yeah, and he's great,
he's
man.
awesome. I think he's
He's
got a great
awesome.
personality. He's a great coach.
He might retire. They said I think 31 years in the NFL. 31.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's
he
that's
won
more than
two.
us. That's more years in
That's
the NFL
older
than
than
we've been
us.
alive. Yeah, that's
I
that's
think
insane.
Sirianni is 37.
Yeah, he's
And this
young
guy
dude.
Andy's been in the league for 31. And I think you could see that a little bit. Second
Yeah,
half, they come out, different team. I honestly think that's where coaching experience come into play. I
yeah,
think Sirianni, I mean, he cried in the beginning. I think, it's fine emotions, but like, I don't know. I'm the type of person that at that moment, you don't show emotions. You got to
yeah.
keep it cool. And football is a big part of football is coaching. And I think you
Exactly,
saw that at
exactly.
the end. But going back to Mahomes, I think he has potential, but I think we're gonna see like a Bill Russell, MJ or LeBron situation where
So that yeah, I don't.
Brady got the rings, right? So
Hold
that's Bill
hold
Russell.
that because I
Ah,
totally have a
all right.
follow up for you. Real quick, going back though, Sirianni, the coaching. Two things. One with the crying. I think that just shows right there. You don't get to the Super Bowl that often. That's back to our first take. That's why
Yeah.
when you have that chance to knee it and take the game, you got to do it.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and then the next part, there was a fucking play where Sirianni, the Eagles took a delay a game and he was pissed at the OC, but he didn't waste his time out, which I think was great.
Yeah.
He let the clock go. They got the delay game. I think it was 3rd and 14. They converted next play, which is or no,
Yeah.
was that the one where Goddard fumbled it? I don't know. They
Yeah.
would have
Exactly.
got
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I think that was a great decision not to not
I
to
agree. I like him as a coach. I don't think anybody saw him coming. I
yeah,
think
no,
he's a
not
good
at all.
coach. I don't think there's anything you can point back to this game and say, look, the coach made a mistake here
No,
on
definitely
both
not.
sides.
Yeah.
I do think as good as well as Jalen played, that fumble is not being talked about enough. That's
No,
a bad fumble,
hundred
but
percent.
he bowled out. So it's kind of hard to like,
Yeah.
pinpoint that, but you're not going to win a game where you fumble like that. And special teams. I mean, they lost in special teams, right? That,
Hmm.
that return by Tony at the end. I mean, come on,
Yeah, Tony,
that,
former Giant, man.
former Giant, man, fuck that guy. I mean, you kidding me? He didn't do shit for us.
That was
And
in
his
the Super
ball in the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. I mean, he was a
Yeah,
difference maker. Pacheco, Rutgers guy. I told you. I mean, I used to see this guy every day at Chipotle, like every day. Him and a bunch of guys that played for Rutgers.
bro, he
Uh,
was running like he fucking ate Chipotle. He
he's
was
not a
running
big guy
motherfuckers over.
either, man. He's not a
Yeah,
big
he's
dude. I
strong
mean,
though. He's strong.
seventh round pick out of Rutgers.
Yeah,
I think a year ago or 2 years ago maybe. But
yeah,
yeah, I
he's
mean, look, I don't think you can point to any mistakes other than the
no,
fumble to me. I don't think you can say the coaching was bad. It's
definitely not.
just I think Kansas City overall they're the better team and they have
Yeah,
more experience. So
yeah,
I think Philly they're in a tough spot. Kelsey will probably retire.
yeah. They're gonna
Um,
lose some people. I think they're
they
gonna
lose some
lose Reddick,
guys.
who fucking broke
Yep.
Purdy's fucking elbow. So that's
Yes.
big. Um, And
Yep.
I think that's another thing about the game, man. Philly came into this having, a historic defense with all the sacks, but what defense came up bigger? KC's. That fumble
KC.
recovery came up
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
you know?
Even though I mean he was a fumble recovery, but you saw Jalen, the ball slipped out of his hands. He didn't get
Yeah.
hit before, so it was just like it just happens. I think Mahomes had one like this against the Bengals,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
ball just slipped out of his hands.
Yep. He
Unfortunate.
did. 100%.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, it is what it is. I think Kansas City is the better team. They're better coached,
Yeah.
better quarterback. So usually you got the better coach, better quarterback. You typically win those games. I mean, that's
Yep.
that's what it comes down to. But honestly, they'll be back, both of them. I think
I
Philly,
think so too.
Philly, they're not going anywhere. I mean, they'll get to the conference championship, I think.
Yep.
Um, and Kansas City, I mean, you can't as long as they have those two,
No, yeah,
they'll be
I
around.
definitely agree. As much as I don't want to see the Eagles, hopefully the Niners get him next year. But
Yep.
so next question, and I want to say this. I was watching Nick Wright, and he again.
My
I
boy
don't have the
Nick,
note. Yeah, that's the dog.
best sports guy in the business right now.
100%, 100%.
FYI.
I don't have all the numbers specifically, but he had it laid out that Mahomes is like super close to top of the list in all playoff categories.
Yes,
So
first in everything, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So let me put it like this. The topic that we have is, will he pass Brady? Now, personally, like you were saying with Bill Russell, LeBron, let me first off say this. I don't think he'll pass Brady. But I think, like LeBron, there will be an argument to be made if he can get 3, 4 rings, not 7, but have the stats. I think there's an argument that can be made. He already got more rings
Yes.
than Rodgers. You know,
Yes.
you know.
I agree. So, but here's the thing. I think we live in a culture, and this is like because of the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron thing, or Michael Jordan, the rings is the holy grail.
Yeah, 100.
I
percent
think as long as Brady holds a 7 and he's not at 7 or more, I
Mm-hmm.
think Brady will be the GOAT still. And I
Yep,
think Mahomes will have all the stats, no doubt.
100.
But
percent
we live in this ring culture. Even though, again, Bill Russell, I understand he has like 11 or what, 12. Um, but I just don't see, at least for now, Brady going away. Um, it's tough to say. Maybe in 20, 30, 40 years, I think people will like start looking at LeBron and forget about MJ. I think that could happen, but I don't know. I'm a Brady guy all the way.
100% me too.
I think Brady will be the GOAT for the next 20, 30 years easily. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I mean, and think about also injury. It's all about the injury, man. I mean, Brady never got hurt other than that crazy, what is it, ACL that he had where a guy
Yeah.
landed on his leg. You see, Mahomes had a few nicks already. His ankles hurt. I mean, it didn't stop him, of course, but I don't know. It's a longevity thing. But
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Brady. I don't know about you, but
No, I am too. I am too for sure. Um, so I don't think he'll pass Brady. Now I wonder if it comes down to uh ratio. Brady has 7 rings, 10 Super Bowl appearances.
that's a
If
huge deal.
Mahomes gets 4 and 5 and has all the stats, man, there's
It's
an argument to be made.
debatable.
I feel like, yeah, I
It's
don't,
debatable, but
yeah,
see, where I think it's gonna go wrong for him is I don't think Andy Reid will be around for a while. Look,
yeah,
Bill Belichick played with Brady for 20 years, and he started young. I mean, but Mahomes is starting with Andy Reid when he was almost 60. So the guy's 63 or 64. So he's not gonna go for 20 years, right? So I think you lose Andy Reid. I think you lose a big, I mean, look at the touchdowns these guys threw in the end zone. I mean, these
exactly,
guys were wide open. It
yeah,
was just pure scheme, you know?
uh-huh,
It wasn't like Philly where they pounded the ball and got into the end zone. It was pure scheme. So Andy Reid goes away. What do you do? So if Andy Reid retires today, right, as a Super
Hmm.
Bowl champion, who do you hire to go to the enemy? I mean, and then what happens? You think they're back next year without it? I don't know. You see, so
Yeah,
that's why I'm sticking with Brady for now. So
100%. I mean, you're right. I think anytime you have Mahomes, you have a chance. But who are you going to hire?
yeah,
The
nobody out
enemy,
there.
the enemy,
Kingsbury, man, come on.
Swaggy K.
My
I
boy's back.
Yeah, I like the enemy personally, but I just feel like, and there's another topic I definitely don't want to. I don't think we should touch on because we're not in the right place. Why is he not getting a job?
True,
And
true,
you
true.
kind of know where I'm going with that. I don't.
Yes.
I want to
And,
say right now, I don't fucking agree with that at all.
yeah.
The man is calling plays for Patrick Mahomes. I think he deserves 100 times more respect than he gets.
And you know what the funny thing is? You
Yeah,
saw the OC for Philly. I forgot his name, the new guy or the young guy. He might get the coach job.
yeah.
And it's his first year really. I mean, no second year with Philly. I mean, nobody knew who the guy was. He's about to get a job with the Colts. And you
Mhm.
got Bieniemy. He's been in the block. He's won Super Bowls. He's a second, and he doesn't get a shot. So
Which,
I don't
yeah,
know. I
like
don't
I
know.
said, is I think it's a little ridiculous, but
Yep.
again, another topic for another day.
Yep.
Something we should touch on at some point. We say we're going to talk about culture, talk about society, but again, we'll talk about that not right now.
Yep.
Um,
Oh,
all
I
right.
think we should have our boy Igor here for the cultural discussion.
Oh
If not,
man,
all
yeah,
right,
yeah, definitely,
he's a big culture guy.
big time, big time, big time.
Yep, yep.
Moving on. Betting favorites for 2023, 2024. I know we talked a little bit before the show. You have the same odds, just a different order. I have the one that Bleacher Report released last night, right after the game. So,
I'm looking at FanDuel, so
yep. Let's kind of touch on the top five. The Eagles and the Bengals on my end on the Bleacher Report. What do you want right now?
I'm FanDuel, so I
Oh,
got yeah, yeah.
this is from DraftKings. The Bleacher took this
Okay,
from DraftKings. So again, I think we have the same teams, just different odds, different order.
yep,
They have the Eagles and the Bengals tied at fifth plus at plus
yep,
900.
yeah. Same here.
Um, they got the Chiefs number one, of course. So Chiefs one, Bills two, Niners three, Bengals, Eagles fifth.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, we got the same teams, different orders,
yeah.
but that's about it. Yeah. So Kansas City, Buffalo, Philly,
Mm,
Bengals, 49ers, and then we got Dallas coming in at six at plus 1500, which is crazy to me. And even
which
Baltimore plus 1600 Baltimore with the situation with Lamar. I mean, that's
exactly,
wild to me. So they're
exactly.
assuming Vegas is assuming he's coming back, I think.
Yeah,
And you got the Jets top 10 at plus 2500
probably the
in
first
front of
time
the
in Christian's life.
Rams.
Probably the first time
I
in Christian's
mean,
life.
in front of the Rams,
Yeah, once Christian listens to this
Miami.
podcast, he's probably gonna bust a nut, bro.
Yeah, for real. I mean, but look, I was thinking about this before we go into the favorites and who we think will win. From
Yeah,
a value proposition, I'm talking about look at the odds, how much money you can get. I really, really like Miami plus 3,000. I mean, I think they can still make a quarterback move this offseason. They can put them over the top. So plus 3,000 there, I really like it. The Broncos, believe it or not, plus 3,500. I don't think they can win it, but I mean, valid proposition, right?
yeah,
I'm not, I like it. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here. The Cleveland Browns, bro,
yeah.
plus 3,500.
Deshaun Watson,
And
huh?
with Deshaun Watson, I mean, I don't think he forgot how to play ball.
Nah, definitely
The
not.
team has players. I'm not saying they're gonna win it all, but I mean, I like these odds. I mean, these three are my sleepers.
Yeah,
I would think.
I'm trying to get the full list here because I only have the five, but
Even the Chargers, to be honest, the Chargers are on the seventh spot at plus 2,000. I know the division's rough, but I mean, it's doable. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, even Jacksonville, seventh at plus 2,500. I like that. I think they can make some. I mean, you got Calvin Ridley coming back, or
Mm-hmm.
I guess coming back in a way.
Yeah.
Um, that's great. They'll probably, get some defensive guys in the draft. I mean, Jacksonville will be they'll be back.
100%. Yeah, definitely. I think they're gonna run that division.
Yeah,
Without a doubt. I don't even
yeah,
think
the
that's a question.
easy division, of course. All right, but let's talk about the favorites. Who do you think will make it to the Super Bowl?
So let's talk. I'm gonna start backwards and come in. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, Cowboys.
no chance.
I don't think so. I don't
No
think so. I
chance.
don't think they have a shot. I
No
do
chance.
not like McCarthy. He said he wants to take over play calling now. I think he's a little over. And this is
Mm,
another topic for another day. I think McCarthy and Sean Payton are in the same boat. They
No
both have one
shot.
Super Bowl. They both have one Super Bowl. They both
So
have
you
one of
say,
the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
nah, don't do that. I
Nah.
mean, Sean Payton is a, come on. He will run laps around McCarthy. I mean,
Yeah,
let's
oh,
give
oh,
him,
yeah, yeah. No, I'll give you that. He's a better. I'm saying, like he's definitely a better coach. But as far as like rating wise, they both have one ring. They both had a. He's definitely a better offensive coach. Not a question.
it's true that Sean Payton won what, in 2009?
Yeah.
I want to say. It's been a minute. I mean, yeah, it's been a while. I do think he's got to prove himself with the Broncos. I think they
Yeah.
give him a lot of money, and I think they have a team. So I want to wait 2 years to make judgment on Sean Payton. But I mean, if you put Sean Payton and McCarthy in the same sentence, I think you're crazy to
That's
say
yeah. All right. Yeah,
McCarthy's
you're right.
better.
You're right. Yeah, I take that back a
But
little bit, but I'm saying
yeah,
as far as success, they have the same success.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't like McCarthy calling plays. I don't like that at all.
No,
I don't know. I, I'd like to think that what we saw from Dak this year is not Dak. Um,
never been a that guy, to be honest.
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. But I don't think that was him, man. That guy was
Mm,
going Stevie Wonder. He didn't see
yep, yep,
shit.
yep. Yeah. You saw Ghost or what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
ghosts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So who do you think comes out? I
Early
mean,
Super
you're a
Bowl
Niners
prediction.
fan, but
Yeah, yeah. Early Super Bowl prediction. You know what, man? Just looking at these five, if I'm going off these top five alone, I'm seriously going with my Niners, and I think I gotta go Bengals.
oh,
Um,
so wow, I think we might be the same here.
yeah,
I think San Fran, I think 49ers will come out. I mean, I think we're going to see a repeat Philly, San Fran again. Um, I think Jags will be a sleeper on the other side.
yeah,
I do think they can beat the Bengals. I can see sort of that game happening. Again, the Chargers, I really like the Chargers with Kellen Moore now.
mm,
I don't think Kansas City will be back. I mean, I think it's really hard to
very good.
repeat. I think the Bills are washed in a way that, I mean, look, I think they get a huge cap hit this offseason from Von Miller. I
Yeah,
think this is a Josh Allen's biggest cap hit. So I don't think, a Stefan Diggs as well. So I think they're shot. I like the Bengals. I like the
yeah,
Bengals. So I'm going Bengals and San Fran. I might have to put a future on that.
yeah. Right.
No?
I
But again, I want to just point out Chargers. Watch out for
Yeah,
the Chargers and for
definitely a good
Jacksonville.
sleeper team. Um, I don't want to disrespect the Chiefs at all. What they did is crazy. Patrick Mahomes is a
Yeah,
legend as much as I dislike him. But the Bengals were right there. The Bengals,
right
if it
there.
wasn't for throwing fucking Patrick Mahomes out of bounds,
Yep,
I think I
agree.
don't know what happens, but they were tied.
And don't forget that against Jacksonville, they were marching down the field,
Yo,
and the guy dropped that ball at the end there. I forgot his name, but Sunshine threw the ball right in
yep,
the money. He picked it up. I think he went to make a turn or something. The ball dropped, or he dropped the ball. So they were right there. I mean, again, I don't think they'll be back. They just won a Super Bowl. You got the Super Bowl hangover.
yeah.
I like the Bengals and with an honorable mention towards the Jaguars and the Chargers. So
All
yeah,
right, guys, we're back. We had a little technical difficulty first pod, like I said. Kind of keep that in
we're
mind. Don't
back.
don't don't judge us. We're
No
back.
hate.
So we left off talking about Super Bowl predictions for next year. So we both agreed we think Niners, Bengals, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah. So I mean, obviously me being the Niners fan, I think our only question is quarterback. We have two that are currently at this exact moment at this recording are hurt. They say Trey Lance should be back, who I've been a Trey Lance fan. I know you said that was a little bit of a debacle.
Yep.
I still think he has so much potential. He's younger. He's what, 5 years younger than us, man, can
Yep.
barely drink. I like Purdy a lot too. I think he
Yes,
runs
sir.
Shanahan's system beautifully. Um, I think that out of this top five, man, I feel like the one big question mark, if we're just looking at the top five, is like you were saying, the Bills.
The
Um,
Bills.
they have a lot of money on the books.
I think so. Last time I checked, I think, as is right now, without making any changes to the roster, they have no space for anybody
Yeah,
without making any changes. Now they probably have to move salaries around, put some guys, add a few years to some guys' contracts. But as is right now, they don't have any money.
no,
I
yeah,
think, Von Miller's cap hit doubles, Stefan Diggs doubles, Josh Allen's, this is the biggest hit he'll have, I think, over the life of his contract. I mean, it's
yeah,
it's looking bad.
yeah, no,
So, and honestly, I mean, look, I listen to lots of Cowherd, and I think he's right on the money about this. Defensive head coaches in this
yeah. Oh,
league, the way
100%. 100%.
I don't think you can do it. I mean, again, I don't know. You put Daboll, when Daboll was back with the Bills, Josh Allen was a different guy. I think you need a offensive coach
Hmm.
nowadays. That's why I have reservations with the Chargers, but I still think
Yeah.
Kellen Moore can do a good job.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the Bills will be back. I like the Jaguars and the Bengals much, much better. So
Right, right. No, I agree with you 1,000%. I don't really like the defensive head coaches either. I'm as big of a fan of defense as can be. That's literally what made me a Niners fan back in 2012. Was it 2011, 2012? They played the Giants one week, and their defense, they had Patrick Willis, they had Justin
yeah,
Smith.
yeah.
I was
Great
like,
team.
whoa, you guys,
Yeah, great
they
team.
beat the Giants. It was 11, I think, because the
Yep,
Giants beat us in the regular season. I mean, we beat y'all in the regular season, then y'all beat us
yep,
and went to the Super Bowl that year and won
yep,
it.
yep,
Dude, but I agree with you. Defensive head coaches,
yep. In this league, I don't know. And I'm interested to see what the Giants will do
yeah,
because, they both great when we made the playoffs. I don't know if DJ is the guy, and I mean, I don't know where we go from here.
yeah,
We cannot draft a good quarterback in the draft order that we have
right,
now.
right,
But I also don't see us, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I'm
right.
excited, but I don't know where we go. I think we
I,
need a quarterback, but I don't think they'll probably, franchise tag DJ and
yeah.
we'll see.
I'm gonna make a hot take, bro. Honestly, right now off the bat, I think you guys honestly have a chance to win the division next year.
The division
Yeah. Eagles are great. Hurts is great. Hurts is a top three quarterback right now as of recording.
Hurts impressed
But
me, man. I was
yeah,
not a Hurts guy,
yeah.
but he impressed me.
But the thing with the Eagles is, like I was saying, they're losing so many people. Again, I don't have a
Yeah,
list off the top of my head, but I know for a fact they're losing.
yeah,
Reddick is about to become a free agent. He
yeah,
was
I
their
agree.
best edge rusher. And I know they're losing a couple other people. I think they're losing what's homie's name? Chauncey Gardner Johnson, the safety,
Yes, yeah.
who that motherfucker is a great tackler.
Kelsey's gonna retire,
I
most
think
likely the
so. I
center.
think so. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it could happen. I need to see what we do in the offseason because I
Yeah.
think we need wide receivers
100%.
bad,
Yep.
bad.
DeAndre
But
Hopkins, man, go out there and get him for DJ with Saquon, bro.
I
Whew.
would love that. Yeah, I would love that. I don't think D Hop. I think D Hop wants to go to a team where he can win.
Yeah.
I don't think the Giants are at that spot now.
I could see him
But
as a
we'll see. We'll
Patriot.
see. Yeah,
Yeah, I could see
I
him as a
can as
Patriot.
well. I can as well. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Now, I have a question for you as
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
San Francisco
Of
fan.
course, yeah.
So, if you guys don't make it to the Super Bowl next year, is your boy in a hot seat or what?
No.
Shanahan.
Well, it depends. It depends. It depends what happens.
You need to at least make it, Joey. I mean, I don't know, man.
I definitely
It's
think we have to
starting to.
make it. Yeah, I definitely think we have to make it.
What's the excuse now? I mean, again,
Yeah,
injuries, sure, but I also think there's something there that you guys are always injured. Is it the
right.
system? Is it the way he plays? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. If all right, so I'm gonna say if we don't make the Super Bowl, I don't think he's on the hot seat. If we don't make the playoffs, we need to have a sit down and have a conversation.
Sure. I mean, yeah, okay.
Um,
Yeah, even if I
if we
can see
don't
that.
even make it to the NFC Championship game, we're sitting down having a conversation. I
Yeah.
just feel like what this team was before Shanahan and after and now, dude, we're right on the edge, man. We're right on the edge. I think we need a
But is
quarterback to stay
that,
healthy.
do you think that is coaching or the GM just picking great players all around? I mean,
I think it's both. I think it's both for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And Purdy might be, the next. He might be great. But you got to say something about a seventh round pick going out there and doing what he did. Again,
That's a
he might
system
just be
thing,
that
I think.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
might
yeah.
just be that good. Thing
Who
is
so who
though,
starts next year? Health notwithstanding.
oh man, if it's health notwithstanding, it's Purdy. It's not even a question.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I
Wow, I'm
I
surprised.
want Lance. I love them both equally, but you can't discredit what they went on a 12, 13 game win streak, and
Yep.
I personally thought they were going to be in the Super Bowl. I don't believe in the Eagles defense, but that's another story.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's Purdy, health notwithstanding. I don't know what his timeline looks like. They're saying 6 months. They're saying 9 months. If Trey Lance gets to go to training camp, one thing I will look. I love Trey Lance. Been a fan since he came out. I think he has all the tools. One thing I will say about him is every report that I've read for the Niners, he is in every meeting. He is in every. He's next to Shanahan on the sideline all the time, except for when he was in his boot after his surgery.
Right,
I
right.
do think that he is soaking up all the information he can get. Now his issue was accuracy, which was Josh Allen's issue.
Yep. Yep.
But Josh Allen got a year. He was able to get it under control with Dayball, like you said. I don't know if we have that time for him. If he
Yeah.
comes in and his accuracy is A1 and he developed his mindset with the books and everything, he's
Is
more. All
this
right,
his,
go ahead.
is this his last year? Last chance?
Lance or Shannon?
Lance. Meaning if he doesn't, if he let's say by Thanksgiving, he's starting. You guys lost 3, 4 games.
Yeah.
You're under 500. Are you thinking about moving him or benching him?
Again, I think it depends on success. If he's not playing good, you have Purdy step in and do well and take us to the playoffs. How could you not think about
Yeah,
trading him?
yeah.
And
And
again,
that's
I
all.
don't.
That's a huge failure, man. Well, all the draft
I
picks you
Yep,
guys give up. I mean,
yeah,
it's a big deal.
yeah. But the thing is, with this NFL, they're very ring centric, like you said, but
Yeah,
they're also very quarterback centric.
yeah.
People are saying that the Jets, and I don't like the Jets. Everybody knows that you don't like the Jets, but they're
Nobody likes
saying
the
that
Jets, man.
they're saying that their draft is a failure because they didn't get a quarterback, but they got Sauce Gardner. They got there's a
True.
edge rusher they got. They had Brees Hall, who was rookie of the year at running back. They had I would say a top, if not the best draft, but they fucked up on quarterback. Now, if the Niners hit on Purdy, who cares if they fucked up on Lance?
Yes.
Unless they
Yeah,
unless they don't make the Super Bowl, they need to win the Super Bowl though.
I guess, but you can also say that had you not given up those picks
Yep.
and you had Purdy anyways, right?
Yep.
Because you would have drafted him regardless. You could have used those picks towards I don't
Yeah.
know defense or other plays. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, I think you're right. It depends on how you guys
Yeah.
finish. But I think it's a conversation.
Yep.
It's an
And
interesting conversation to
I
have. Yeah.
yeah, and I think they're both Purdy. Well, after this, we'll move on. But I think Purdy and Lance are very yin and yang. I think Purdy has the mindset. I think he's accurate. He's very. I'm not going to say he's Brady because that's too much, but that's what Brady has. Brady's not
Yeah.
Mahomes. Brady's not Rodgers, but he's going to deliver the ball accurate. He's going to make the
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
read. And Purdy's athleticism gives him a little added boost. But there's not a question that Lance is more physical. He's taller. He's bigger. He runs better. His arm is stronger. It's again, these are great players, but it's very Mahomes Brady. They're both great
Yeah.
in their own way.
I
I
agree.
think that if they're developed correctly, I think we have a big move. I think that's why our odds are so high. I think they're assuming Purdy's going to be back because plus 800, which is what I say the third best overall for a team that doesn't have a quarterback right now, is
In
kind of crazy to me.
FanDuel, you can get him in plus 900.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean,
and
yes.
that's kind of crazy to me for like I said, a team that does not currently have a healthy quarterback on the roster.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Um,
It's all
and
the
again,
scheme coaching.
this is after Brady retired, so everybody knows we're not getting Brady. Um,
Yeah.
I think plus 800 is
It's not
kind
a
of
bad pick.
crazy. Yeah.
Yep, not a bad pick. Before we move on from the NFL, let me just get your quick thoughts on what do you think about the main two guys coming out of college this year, Bryce Young and CJ Stroud? I mean, where do you think they land and you think they're gonna be franchise guys? You think they got potential on these two or maybe one or the other?
Oh man, so I like Bryce Young a lot. I like CJ Stroud a lot. Big Ohio State guy. I enjoy watching Ohio State. You know that. I think Stroud is going to finally break the curse of the Ohio State quarterback. I know Fields is on his way. They're still working on his arm and everything. I think Stroud's going to break that. And I think just off of what we saw against Georgia, Georgia, it, Georgia's an NFL team.
Yeah.
Georgia's an NFL team if you look at it from that perspective.
So
And
you think Stroud goes first above Bryce?
I don't. I think Bryce is going to go first just based off the fact that he played at Alabama and the SEC is the most
Yeah.
competitive. Um, but don't think Stroud is making it past 5. I mean, you have the Colts in there. The
So let's
Raiders
run
might
some
trade up.
scenarios, right? Bears won. I don't think they take a QB. I don't know if you
Definitely
agree.
not. Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
So we got the Texans. They definitely take a QB here, right? So they're second in the order. I think they take one of these two.
Yeah,
Most likely Bryce,
Bryce. Yeah,
which is a shame to be honest, because he goes to the Texans. I think he's I mean, it's a kind of a weird division, but I don't think we'll see much of him for the next 3 to 4 or 5 years until they get a good team around him.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
you got the Cardinals right after at third. That's where it gets interesting to me
Very.
because then you have C.J. Stroud available.
Mm.
Do you take him even though you got Kyler Murray in the books at a max contract?
So
I don't know.
so bouncing back to what you said real quick because I'm going to touch on that too. I think Chicago and Arizona are completely are up in the air. I think Chicago trades that pick, and I think Bryce Young goes number 1. Um,
Hmm.
if I'm Arizona, they don't have a head coach right now. I think it depends on the head coach.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great point. Yeah.
they didn't hire a head coach, right?
No, yeah, but I mean, I think anybody that comes in will have to give Kyler a shot. So maybe
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, if Arizona, maybe you trade this pick away, right?
exactly,
For
exactly.
next year, for first next year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the
Which,
code. I mean, so let's assume the order without any trades, right? So
yeah,
Chicago doesn't draft a QB. I think Houston
definitely not.
takes Bryce.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Arizona, I don't think they would. Then you
No.
got the Colts. You don't think the Colts take Stroud? I mean, he looks like a Colts quarterback to me.
See,
He
all
like
right.
fits the.
So here's where I disagree. Actually, I think Stroud deserves to go there. I think that they're gonna pick the dude from Kentucky, Levis.
Ooh.
I think it looks like a prototypical Colts quarterback. I think Stroud, if he makes it past 5 and 6, which is Seattle and Detroit, which I think he will, I think he goes to Vegas. I really do.
You don't think Seattle will take a QB?
No, no, they're talking about extending Geno. I think they might
No
have already done it.
shot.
Yeah, yeah. And
I mean,
I believe in golf. I believe in golf too. So
you wouldn't. Wow, I'm surprised. I mean, I would at least take a QB from Seattle. I'll let Geno start for one more year, but I'll
yeah,
let the guy learn, sit a year or two. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You got the Vegas. I mean, Vegas, they still might get Aaron Rodgers. Still up
right.
in the air.
And see, that's the thing with this draft, which is fascinating, is so much can happen. We still have Aaron Rodgers, we still have Derek Carr in the hair, up in the air.
Yeah.
Um, New
I'll tell
Orleans
you
doesn't
what
have a
though,
pick, but
there's 5 picks, the top 5 teams you see, I think it won't be the same order come draft night. I think there'll be a
definitely not.
lot of
No,
movements.
yeah,
I think Chicago might trade that pick away. If
yep,
I'm Arizona, I'm trading that away. I mean,
yep,
to be honest, I don't know the other guys coming out. Like I haven't looked at the any offensive linemen. I mean, I don't think a wide receiver. I don't remember any good wide receivers that will be top 5 picks. I don't think this year.
yeah,
There may be some defensive guys, some corners. I don't know, but I'm so quarterback alone. I think this would be a different order come draft night. So
yeah. I mean, I think I'm looking right now. I'm looking at the draft. I think off the bat, 4 of the top 10 you could trade. That Chicago pick can be traded.
yep,
Arizona can be traded. Seattle's
yep,
picking fifth behind Indy. They don't need a quarterback. Who maybe moves up for that? I don't
yep.
think that the Lions go for a quarterback. I really don't. I think
I
they
think they
love
like
golf in that
golf.
building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Um, Atlanta, do they believe in Ritter, the guy that they just drafted from Cincinnati?
Interesting. Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with Carolina? Nobody knows. I like their new
Who
head coach,
knows?
but Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
they're a mess. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I think this whole thing can be. I have no idea. I have legitimate I'll have a take about anything in sports. I have no absolute idea about this draft. I know the
Yeah.
players that are going to go. I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know where the trades are going to happen. I'm at a loss.
I think that's why we like the NFL, man. I saw a stat that says I think every year half of the teams that made the playoffs don't
Yep,
make the playoffs next year. And
exactly.
if you think about who those teams are right now, we have no idea.
No,
I mean, look
exactly.
at the Giants last year, right? Who would have
Yeah,
thought? I
exactly.
mean, so yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, all right, I think we should move on from football. We
yeah,
should
yeah.
touch base on other
We hit on
sports
a
real
lot. Let's
quick.
save some topics.
Yeah.
Topics. We plan on recording more. We'll save some other off-season topics, which by the end of this podcast, let's try and together maybe make some kind of schedule. But again, we'll worry
Cool.
about that at the end. Let's move on to basketball.
Sheesh.
Football season's officially over.
Yep.
Time to move on to basketball. I fuck with basketball. You fuck with basketball. I'm a big golf
Yep.
guy. Baseball, of course. So I have stuff to watch. Um, what are we thinking about basketball? I have the standings pulled up right here. Trade deadline was fucking, I
That
think,
was
probably the
crazy.
best
I
trade
mean,
deadline I've seen, since I
that's why
started
the NBA
following.
is popping. The trade
Yeah,
deadline, I mean, the offseason is great. I mean, let me just say this. For me, the NBA starts as soon as football ends, right? I'm
100%.
I'm not
I agree.
watching the basketball. I'll watch Christmas game, I'll watch a few games here and there, but I'm not really paying attention until it's NFL is over.
100%.
Knicks fan, I'll watch Knicks game, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Now, um, let me just make a pick right out of the box. I
Yeah.
think Phoenix wins this whole thing. I
The
think
whole
Phoenix
thing,
and
huh?
Bucks in the finals again.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen KD play to be honest with them, but I'm just going out on a limb and saying Phoenix finally wins. CP3 getting his first ring, and yeah, I think I'm going with the Suns.
Okay.
Suns, baby. What about you?
All right. So we're making picks right now. We're at the half
Right
season
off the
mark.
bat.
All right. You know me, big LeBron guy. So I'm gonna shock you when I say this.
Oof.
I'm gonna shock
Wow.
you. I'm gonna shock you when I say this. You ready?
LeBron?
The Lakers aren't going to the finals this year.
All right, I was about to say, son.
Um,
You
I
got
don't
me. I was about to make you a bet right now live
I
that
don't I don't I I don't think they're doing it. Strictly. First of all, I love the deadline moves they made. I think their team
Yeah,
is deeper. They have shooters. They open the floor for
yeah.
LeBron. They've opened the floor for AD. But they fucking AD can't stay healthy. You guys
Something
rip
wrong with
LeBron for
AD.
sitting out. I think he's actually fucking, kind of banged up, but he's older. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a different pick here. I don't like the Suns. I'm not a fan of Chris Paul. I think he's
Yep.
great player, regular season player. He's Peyton Manning of basketball. Regular season he is the best.
No playoffs.
Has
Yep.
not shown anything in the playoffs. I like from the West. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna go both number one seeds. I really think I could see the
Denver?
Celtics and the Nuggets. With
Wow.
with I think Boston comes out on top this year if healthy.
I see, like, the thing with Denver is like Denver to me, they're like the old Spurs, right?
Yeah,
Like they're good, but there's something about them that like is not convincing enough, and they're just boring.
yeah.
They're just boring.
The way they
Like
play
look
is
at
very boring.
Jokic. I mean, back-to-back MVPs, right?
Uh huh.
But like he's nice, but like he's just boring in a way. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see. I mean, I can't see Denver going all the way. I think
No.
the Mavs can beat them I mean, 7-game series. I think
Right.
even the Lakers come playoff time. I mean, Braun, if they make it, of course.
Mm.
The Suns. I mean, I don't know. The West is kind of low. And even Golden State, man. Don't sleep on Golden State. These guys
No.
make the
If Curry
playoffs,
comes
eighth
back,
seed.
yeah.
They making a splash as they usually do. So I don't know.
If
Um,
Curry comes back, I'm also looking at. I think people are kind of sleeping on the Pelicans. Zion hasn't been healthy.
yes, yeah.
Uh,
They are a move away. Those that they are a move away. And I
yeah,
was disappointed. Don't tell me that if the Pelicans came to Brooklyn and said, "Look, I'll give you Brendan Ingram and all these picks that they stole from the Lakers on the AD trade
yeah,
instead of KD." Don't tell me they don't make that move.
yeah,
That's don't give them. I mean, because they kind of traded KD for almost nothing. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah.
they got picks, but I mean, I feel like they could have gotten more. Don't tell me Brendan Ingram, maybe one more guy, and a bunch of picks. They don't make that deal. And then the Pelicans. I mean Zion and KD.
Right.
They're winning. They're winning the ring. So I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I was kind of disappointed. I thought Pelicans could have been a huge contender if they made a
Mm,
move for KD. Even Kyrie to some degree too.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
I mean,
yeah. So real quick. I mean, we both been following basketball for a little bit. You've probably been following a little bit longer than me. I got into it late in life, but historically, thinking about the Pelicans, do they ever really make big moves like that? I mean, they
mhm,
usually like to trade for these young stars. They like to draft, and then they try and like to develop them. But I don't think,
yeah, they're a newer franchise, right?
yeah,
So like,
even when they had
I
Chris
mean,
Paul,
yeah, and when they had Chris Paul was their best. I think that's when they made a huge run. They're not known for making moves, but I don't know. I mean, again, you have the opportunity to do so. You have to. I mean,
right?
you have KD available. You gotta swing for the fences. I think they really messed up. Again, don't tell me if you put up Brendan Ingram, who is a KD 2.0 kind of, and all those. I mean, they have picks from the Lakers. It's not like the Suns gave away their picks, but the Pelicans have picks from the Lakers still, so they'll
Yeah,
still be able to keep their picks or throw them in.
right.
And I mean, and you don't need Ingram at that point. So I mean, I really thought they messed up. They had a shot. They didn't do it, but I don't think I'm not a believer in them as presently constructed.
Yeah,
Again, I
yeah,
think Suns. That's a good thing about basketball, right? 7 games.
yeah,
Usually the best team wins,
yeah.
right?
100%.
And the playoffs is a different animal. So I really think the Suns. I like the Mavs. I'm not a believer in Memphis or Denver at
No.
all. Nope.
I
What about on the
definitely
East?
the East. I like the Celtics. I do like the Celtics. Again, the top two teams, Celtics and Bucks. I don't believe in the 76ers. Cavs are tough. They have a full team,
Cavs,
but
Cavs are growing
I'm
on
not
me.
buying it. I'm
Yeah.
not buying it. I think one sleeper team you always have to watch in the East, and
The
there's
Knicks, I agree.
oh my
I
God,
agree.
get the
100%. I was about to say that, man.
Jesus
Come on.
Christ.
I knew it. I knew it.
Oh my God,
Yep.
man. It's too
I
early to
agree,
be the
man.
it's too early to be drunk,
Listen,
bro. Come on.
listen. Randall is MVP next year. I'm gonna put a future. You know.
It's too
Listen,
early to be drinking, bro. What are
come
we
on,
doing?
come on.
Nah,
All right,
for
well,
real
which
though.
one?
But I truthfully think one team you got to watch in the East, and there's rumors of possibly Westbrook going there is the Heat. They're so well coached. They started
So
off
wait,
slow this year.
they think about buying him out?
Yeah, yeah. The who they get? Who do you go to? The Jazz, right? No,
No, wait. Where do you go? That's true. We all focused on the
dude.
KD trade and the Kyrie trade,
There
and
was
we
like
forget
eight
about.
there was like eight different fucking trades that
Yeah,
happened.
it was the Jazz and who else was involved in that trade? I forgot.
He got traded to the Jazz. They were talking about buying him out. Um, And yeah, if they
Yeah, so
buy
he's
him
a
out, I mean,
okay, gotcha. Yeah, maybe.
if they buy him out, he goes to the Heat on the bench. The Heat are 6th seed right now. They're 32-25. They got Butler. Spoelstra's still the coach.
Yeah.
You got Adebayo, who's fucking tank on defense.
Yeah.
That's one team I feel like you definitely have to watch. The way they're just they're so unified. They play
They're
great
always
together.
there. And
Yeah.
look who's right behind them, man. What a coincidence. The Knicks. We're one game away
Oh
from
my
I
god.
mean, listen, maybe we get Westbrook, no? The Knicks? I mean, would I be mad? I mean, if we buy him out and he takes a friendly deal, like a veteran minimum or something, because he's about to make 40 plus.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
mean,
I mean,
shit. If
I
you can
wouldn't
get
be
him for the
mad.
low and he's coming off the bench, I don't hate that. You know who's gonna hate that though?
Who?
Come on.
Christian. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh my
come on. But
god,
who
that man
cares,
is.
man? You give him 2 beers, he'll be all right. Look, and let me tell you, you know why the Bucks are my pick? Honestly, I like the Celtics a lot, but
Yeah.
I think a really underrated move, Jake Crowder.
Hundred
Jake
percent.
Crowder, underrated move. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
that he's gonna be huge for that team. He
Yeah.
hits threes, big guy, strong.
Exactly.
I like it a lot, and I think that's a huge move. Nobody's talking about for what?
He's yeah.
Four second rounders?
Which is
What do you do?
ridiculous. Which is
What do you do
ridiculous.
with
But
second rounders in the NBA? I mean, nothing. So,
I think
um,
all these teams that got all these second rounders, whether it was the Nets, the Warriors,
yeah,
the
the
fucking,
Warriors. Yep.
are they gonna try and get like Wembayama or whatever his name is? I don't know.
Yeah, that kid. I mean, talk about special,
He looks
man.
insane,
He
insane.
looks better. To me, he looks better than Zion
Yeah,
coming out. So I mean, yeah, I don't know.
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
So
we'll
I
do
mean,
another topic another day on the lottery
yeah,
and
yeah. We'll really get into basketball. Just for our first episode, we'll touch up on it. Also, like Stephen A. likes to say, my pick is fluid. Lakers are gonna go on a fucking 8-game winning streak. I'm gonna be right back saying they're gonna go to the finals. But that's just me. And again, I think Celtics or Bucks could be the finals. I'm personally gonna go Bucks. I'm gonna go Bucks Nuggets. I'm sorry, Celtics Nuggets. Celtics Nuggets.
Celtics Nuggets. I'm
Yeah.
going Bucks, Phoenix or the Suns.
Again, this could change in a week. I'm gonna say
Yep.
let's make our official predictions at the end of the All-Star break.
Yep. Cool.
But
All right.
right now,
Let's move on to another topic. Let me
so
just say this. I mean,
yeah,
our goal here is to talk about as many different sports as possible, right? We watch a lot of it.
yeah,
So, maybe in the US, soccer is not the biggest sport. I
right,
mean, after the World Cup, I do have a feeling that this will start to change. I feel like people are more interested,
100%.
especially in the Premier League,
Mm-hmm.
Champions League. I think people really enjoyed watching the World Cup, and we had amazing finals, right?
Yeah.
Argentina, France. So I think it sparked interest.
Mm-hmm.
We will touch base a little bit on soccer. I'm
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
biggest baseball guy. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, but I don't know
No,
baseball
yeah,
as
yeah,
much
yeah,
as
yeah.
you. So we'll touch base on baseball at some point, but let's quickly just go through some soccer, right?
Yeah, some
Starting with
Champions League.
the Champions League.
And I just want to say I 100% agree with you. I think what you're saying with soccer is what's currently happening with golf. I think a lot of younger people
Yep.
our age are getting into golf. Have you seen some of these ESPN ads for golf with they have the
Yes.
great music going? I'm like, God, what? This is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So that's why I mean, I love golf. I liked it. I've been liking it for a while. I've tried playing it. I suck at
It's
it, but
awesome.
it's a great sport to get into in my opinion. But yes, so Champions League, like you said, not a lot of people are soccer fans, so we'll keep it kind of brief. We'll keep it a little
Yep.
breakdown. I'm not as big in. I like soccer. I love FIFA. As far as like specific players and things like that, you'd probably have the upper hand there. Let's kind of just go through this round of 16. Let's break it down because it starts tomorrow.
Yep. 3 p.m.
Yep. So tomorrow we got PSG. They're playing Bayern, and we got Milan.
Huge game.
Oh, fucking huge, bro.
Huge game. Huge game.
And then we got Milan and Tottenham. Who we going with?
All right, look, I should say this off the top of right away. I think the winner of PSG Bayern
Is the
go to
winner
the
of it all.
finals.
Yep.
Yeah, or even all of the whole thing. I think he
1,000%
definitely
agree.
makes it to the finals. I really like PSG. I'm Brazilian. I like Neymar. I mean, Messi's Messi, Mbappe's Mbappe, but they choke. They're they always choke in the
Big
Champions
time.
League.
Big time.
And
Big time.
Bayern have a team. They always had a team. They're lacking a striker. So I wanna say PSG go through. I mean, this is the first leg tomorrow, so they play again in a week's time. I like PSG, but the winner of this game will make it to the finals. How about what are you thinking?
I agree with you. 100% everything you said. The only thing I'm worried about with PSG is you have Mbappe and Neymar. I'm sorry, Mbappe and Messi coming. Oh my fucking god, Mbappe and Messi coming back from injuries. I think
Yeah, they're a
Mbappe
little
was
banged
out.
up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Mbappe was out a little bit longer than Messi.
yeah,
Is his injury more serious?
yeah.
He's so talented that I don't know if it matters.
I agree.
But I 100% agree. I think whoever wins this leg wins it all. I
Yep,
think that another team we'll talk about in a minute that we can't sleep on though is Real Madrid because
of
they
course,
are them and
of
Bayern.
course.
For anybody who grew up watching basketball like us, them and Bayern are the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes,
Those motherfuckers
absolutely.
are always coached well. They always have talent.
Absolutely.
We have to keep an eye on them. So Milan Tottenham.
Yes, so I mean, look, I'm not a believer in Milan.
No.
Milan, they typical like they're like the Cowboys, right? They have a
Yeah.
huge history.
Yep.
They've been popular forever. They were great in the 90s, in the 80s, and even before that. But they went through a whole phase of financial struggles. I mean, they tried to sell the team to the Chinese government or whatever, or a Chinese group. Didn't go so well. The guys didn't pay. I mean, it's been a mess. Now they're under control of I think an American company. So they're getting better, but they're still not Champions League worthy, in my opinion.
Mm,
I go Tottenham. I like the guys there. I mean, I watch the Premier League a lot, so I go
gotcha.
Tottenham. Even though I have a soft spot for Milan because growing up, I mean, I used to watch a lot of their games, but they're not as good anymore. So
Right. Right. Um, I think I'm gonna have to side with you here. I think I'm gonna go with Tottenham. I like Milan. However, isn't their goalie Mike Mignon or whatever? Isn't he
yep,
hurt?
yep, yep, yep.
He's a tank. He's hurt. I don't like
Yep.
that for them. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I think I'm gonna go Tottenham as well.
Cool.
I think that one though, I do think it'll take. I don't think it'll be decided in the first leg. I think they're gonna go
Yeah,
the
I
second
agree.
leg.
I completely agree. And it's
Yeah.
gonna be a low scoring game. I mean, maybe I agree. I
All
mean,
right.
who knows? But yeah, I mean, honestly, we can even skip the next match.
I
Club
was gonna
Brugge and
say,
Benfica. Who
yeah,
who gives a fuck? To be honest,
real quick. I mean, again, we're not gonna break it down. Who you going with?
Benfica, no doubt,
100%. Same. Same.
no
Same.
doubt.
All right. Dortmund versus Chelsea.
Interesting.
I think we're gonna agree with this one, and then we got to break it down a little bit because you mentioned something earlier before we started
Yep.
talking that I would like to get into because I'm not too educated on it. I've heard of it, but I'm not educated. First things first, who you picking?
Chelsea, no
Hundred
doubt.
percent. Hundred
Yes,
percent. I think
yes.
they're so talented. Those motherfuckers spend. I'm sorry, it wasn't Chelsea that we were talking about earlier. It was Man City. We'll get back to that
Man
when we get done.
City, yeah, but Chelsea they're in a similar situation in a way, and we can touch base because they were recently acquired, so they're going through
Yep.
some money um, issues, I guess
Right.
we can
Right.
say issues, but I mean, we can touch base on it. And as an honorary member of the Chelsea fan club, because I had to do it to buy tickets for their game, so I'm officially a Chelsea fan, even though I'm not a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
I think they win this game. Dortmund, they're not as good as they used to
No.
be.
No.
But what's interesting with Chelsea is, they were forced to sell because of the whole scandal with the Russian war, right? They were
Right.
owned by a Russian guy, Abrahamovich, I think is his name. I mean, one of the richest guys in the world. The UK government froze assets of all the Russian, oligarchs when the war broke out, and he was forced to sell. So American owner comes in. I think he also owns, I want to say the Dodgers, and I think it's
Oh
the
shit.
Dodgers. So Todd Bowley, I think is his name, buys Chelsea. I mean, for a huge amount of money. No one sort of saw that much money coming. And right off the bat, they go on a spree of spending that we've never seen before. I think they spent 500 million pounds in a year on just buying players.
Yeah.
And this is unheard of. Now, here's the problem. It's something similar to what Man City is going through. There's financial fair plays all across Europe for soccer. And you have a lot of teams that are being bought by these, really big owners, big time money owners, and they just keep buying, 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 but they're not meeting financial fair play rules. And everybody's wondering what's going to happen to Chelsea next year, or the year after, because they spent 500 million,
Yeah.
and they have to show revenues of above 500 million to justify the spending, and it's hard to do so. Okay, so I like Chelsea now. I like what they're doing. I like what they're building. They bought a bunch of young players, but let's keep an eye because
Yeah.
is it all legal? That's a question. We
Yeah. I don't
don't
know.
we don't know. We'll see.
Um. Yeah, I'm with you. Definitely on the pick. Definitely going Chelsea for sure. Um.
Next one, huge game. I think I'm more interested in this one than the PSG
This is.
Bayern.
I think this is the most interesting one. I
Yep,
think this is the
yep.
most interesting one. Let's just. This is on
Liverpool,
February
Madrid.
21st. I'm
That's
going
February
Madrid.
21st.
I'm
Liverpool,
going
yeah.
Madrid.
Liverpool, Madrid. Man, I want to agree with you. I do, and this is where I think we're gonna part ways. Shout out to my boy Kyle, big Liverpool fan. I think, I think Madrid are a better team,
Yeah.
better coached.
Yeah.
They just won the FIFA World Club championship this past weekend
Yep. Yep.
against
Yep.
some team from Saudi Arabia, I
I
think.
saw that. Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go to underdog. I'm gonna go Liverpool.
Yeah.
This is a repeat of the Champions League finals a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go. I want to say Liverpool. They don't have, again, not as a good team, not well coached, going through a huge struggles right now. But I think they go through here. I'm
Right.
gonna
Right.
go Liverpool.
All right, yeah. So we'll put a
We'll
little
split
wager
ways
on
there.
that one.
Yeah,
We got a couple we got what a week to
yeah.
decide.
It's
We
2 weeks time. Yeah, this is next week, not this
yeah.
week. So
I Yeah, I think I like Real Madrid. Like I said earlier, they have always been good. My whole life, they've been good.
yeah,
They've been good before that. I mean, I'm 26. They've been good way
Madrid,
before that.
biggest
Um,
soccer club in the world, no
oh
doubt,
my
no
God,
arguments.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're similar to the Yankees in a way that they're a
Yes,
brand. They're
it's
not a team.
yep,
They're a brand.
absolutely.
Liverpool just seems like they're in a little bit of a mess. They're a mess right
They
now.
are,
They
they
are a
are, they are.
fucking
They're
disaster right
struggling.
now.
They are a disaster. Who knows?
Um,
I mean, but yeah,
but that's the
I
thing with
just
Liverpool, man. If they get their form,
yep.
it's
They
a
got the
wrap.
team, they got
It's a
the
wrap.
coach,
Yeah,
and I
if they
want
get their
my boy,
form, it is a wrap.
I want my boy Kyle to be happy. So Liverpool.
Um, so I'm gonna go
Next
out.
one is a weird one too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little out of order here. Let's cover these next two, and then I have to do the whole stream thing again because we have 4 minutes
Yeah,
left on the
sure.
meeting.
Yeah, okay.
We'll do
All right.
Man City when we come back from we'll
Yep.
redo the meeting.
And
Um,
let's do a quick Napoli Frankfurt.
yep. Who are you going with?
I
I know
think
I'm going with.
Napoli for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a sleeper pick. To be
Uh,
honest, I think Napoli can win the whole thing finally or go to the finals. Great team on the come up. They've bought really good players, young players. I really,
yeah.
really, really like Napoli, and I think Frankfurt doesn't belong here. They were kind of you
Right.
know, they're over the skis a little bit. But
They just
yeah,
got it the
I mean,
benefit. All right, so moving on to the next one, and this is actually my sleeper. Besides Real Madrid, PSG, and Bayern, we already covered that. My sleeper, the non-favorite, I really like Inter. I think Inter has a big shot. I think they
interesting.
have a very deep team.
Yep,
I think they're gonna take Porto. Move on.
I go Inter as well. Same as
Where we
you.
left off.
Yep.
So we both have Inter going on, right? You said?
Yes, Inter
Okay,
going through.
gotcha. And that's definitely again, I think Real Madrid, PSG, or Bayern, and then Inter is my sleeper. But next one, which is the one that we wanted to really cover, like I said, you know a lot more than me.
Yep.
Leipzig or Man City.
Yep.
Off the bat, before I let you go and explain everything to me, I am a huge fan of Holland, however the fuck you pronounce
Yep.
his name. I definitely am
He's a
taking Man
beast.
City here.
No doubt.
Definitely against Leipzig. Again, they are a team though. I feel like they tend to fall short.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have the talent not to. They have the talent not to. By all means, Holland is he not the best player in the world right now? Next to Mbappe?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
yeah, tough to argue.
him and Mbappe. I think it's 1A, 1B. I don't think you put one
Yes,
in front of the
no
other.
doubt, no doubt.
So go ahead. Who are you picking and fill me in on? I know, like I said, the Man City scandal. I saw actually some Liverpool kids talking about it on Twitter.
Big
What's going
deal,
on there? You know
big
more than
deal.
me.
Let me just say, look, I think Leipzig, they're not they are a good team. All right,
Oh
they've
yeah,
been
yeah,
to the semifinals before. I think they played PSG a few years back during the bubble days, the pandemic. But
yeah.
Man City,
They're
they're a
not
better team.
scrubs. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, for
Man
sure.
City, better team. Great, I mean, great roster. You got one of the best coaches in the world. But I say they go through, but I'm really skeptical about what happens, with them toward, this season, especially, getting close to May here where everything finishes because of the scandal. So just a few people in, they were acquired, I mean, I want to say 10, 11 years ago by, I think, I don't know if it's a Qatari or, I mean, a really wealthy group from either the Qatar or Saudi Arabia, I want to say. Um, and they went on a spending spree, right? Of course, the same thing I mentioned with
With
Chelsea,
Chelsea, yeah.
right? I mean, they bought all the best players in the world, but again, there are financial fair play rules they have to sort of meet in order to buy these expensive players and pay like huge wages. Um, we've always known, to be honest, that there was something shady going on. I mean, they were buying players in huge wages by extremely lucrative deals that no one really understood how are they pulling this off. And turns out that, now they were found guilty, I want to say, for missing 5 years worth of financial fair play. Now,
Oh,
this is unprecedented territory in a way, right? And just to be fair, they were found guilty in the Premier League. But, financial fair play rules are across Europe. So,
yeah.
the Champions League have their own, and the Premier League in England have their own. And what can happen to them is they can be kicked out of the league. One, they can be relegated automatically. I mean, they can lose points. There's so many things that can happen,
Right.
and no one really knows what's going to happen. I mean, they hired a lawyer to represent them, and I think it was the same lawyer that defended or that fought for Brexit in the UK. I mean, the
Oh
guy, I think
shit.
he charges like $80,000 a day to
Yeah. So
represent. I mean, it's a big shot guy. They're going all out. They need to defend themselves. And I mean, honestly, they could be relegated again. They could be kicked out. I mean, a lot could happen, right?
Yeah.
So they're in a little bit of turmoil, but still, great team, great coach. I mean, one of the best teams in the world. I think they go through, but I don't think they win. I don't think they win the Premier League, and I really think by the end of the season, the Premier League, they at least going to lose points because of the scandal,
Right.
and they don't finish top five.
So I'll tell you what, actually, following up with that, what happened? I don't know if you pay attention to the Serie A too much, but Juve just kind of went through the same thing, no?
In a way, yes, but theirs was a financial accounting fraud. So it's a
Mm.
little bit different. I don't think it was financial fair play related. I think they just committed some type of accounting. They changed the books a little bit to make their the books more profitable. I want to say it was something to do with a player they exchanged for Barcelona with Barcelona. It was a Brazilian guy. Arthur was his name,
Yeah, yeah.
and they were found guilty of doing that. And I think they lost a bunch of points, and they sit at the middle of the table now, if I'm not mistaken.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I mean, and that is a little bit more serious because I think fraud, you can go to jail and stuff. So I think one of their directors, who was a big time player for them many years ago, Nedved, he's in trouble. I mean, we'll see what happens, but Italy is known for this. Okay, it's not the
Yeah.
first time this happens. They had a huge scandal like 10 years back where they were buying refs. Juventus got relegated to the
Yeah.
second division.
I
And it
remember
was a
that. Yeah.
whole big deal. So Italy, I mean, the mafia comes from there, man. So you never know
Yep.
them Italians.
I'm Italian,
But
man. I don't want to
yeah,
talk about that, but I'm
yeah.
Italian.
So I mean, look, I think Man City, there's something up going on here. I think we'll see, what happens. But again, they'll make it through. But I don't think they will win anything. So
So real quick, and this isn't a law like a law podcast. We're not lawyers. That's our homeboy Igor,
yep,
horny
yep.
Igor.
I
Um,
mean,
horny
is he a
Igor knows
lawyer
how to.
though? If you failed
that's
the bar 10 times, can you
that's
still be a lawyer? I
look.
don't know.
That's another topic. But
Yeah.
so just from watching soccer as long as you have, two questions. First question was, I think you kind of mentioned it. So what Juve got punished for is worse than what Man City is doing. Is that what you said?
In a way, it's hard to say. I mean, one is fraud, so it can be tried in like in. I mean, it's like a societal issue in a
Yeah,
way. I mean,
yeah.
they can go to jail for committing fraud. This is not fraud in a way. This is Man City can be considered fraud, but fraud within the rules of the sport. Where Juventus, for my understanding, is that it's financial fraud, even with the government for tax
Right, right.
purposes and all this other stuff. With the financial fair play in the Premier League, if you spend 500 million on players, you need to make a certain amount of revenue to justify that spending. So allegedly, what's been happening in it is, Man City is owned by, I think, again, the Qatari, one of these wealthy groups. And these wealthy groups, they own a bunch of companies, like TV companies. They
Yeah, yeah,
own
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
sovereign banks and stuff. So they sign deals with companies that are also owned by the same group in order to justify their revenues going up, and they spend it. So again, it's like, I borrow money from you, I get more money, but then there are rules between you and I that I have to make like a certain amount of money in order to borrow that money from you. So you see, it's kind of like double standard in a way.
Right, right.
So that's what happens. One is more of like a societal issue. I mean, they're in trouble with the government, I believe, and this
Yep.
is just within the rules of soccer.
I was
So
gonna
again,
say, so one's like an ethical, about the sport
exactly,
rule, and one you
correctly,
actually try.
correct.
So then my follow up then is the legal one obviously seems worse if you can go to jail, but they
Yeah,
only lost 15 points, I think. So what do you think
correct.
happens to Man City?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think they will.
Does
I mean, look,
anything? Does
it's hard
anything
to
happen?
say. It's hard to say because money talks, right? Who knows
Oh
what these
yeah.
guys are doing
Oh
in the
yeah.
background? I mean, who would they slip in money to? I really think this stuff like this happens. I think they lose a bunch of points. I mean, maybe I don't think they'll be relegated or anything. I really think money talks, and they'll probably sit at the middle of the table by the end of the season, losing a bunch of points. But again, they're
Yeah,
not going to be kicked out of the league. They're not, I don't think anything will happen. But I do think going forward, though, they'll be more careful and they won't be buying players left and right.
for sure, for
And
sure.
and this is also, something that Chelsea and other teams will have to be mindful of.
100%.
And a
Yeah.
good example is Liverpool. They've been really successful over the last few years, and they did it from the ground up,
Mm.
respecting all the rules. They don't buy big money players. They built it from the ground up. So, respect to
Yeah.
them. But
I mean,
that's the way.
I think you and I, we both kind of, I'm supporting Man U, and I think you're kind of on the same
Uh,
boat. They kind of, they're built, they kind of built from the ground up too. I mean, they've had De
Yep.
Gea, they've Rashford has been,
Yep.
I feel like he's 27. I feel like he's been there my whole life.
And keep in mind, I mean, United did arguably the biggest club in the world
Yeah,
with Real
yeah.
Madrid. They can
Oh yeah,
justify their spending because of their finances. I mean,
exactly.
their
How much
brand alone
they
is worth a shit ton. So
right.
with Man City, it's a little bit tough. You know, when your main sponsor is part of the group that owns you, you
Mm,
can write a blank check for sponsorship
right,
that
right,
other teams don't. You know, let's say Qatar Airways, you know, they can write a blank check to you when the market says that check should be 100 million, they're giving you 500 million. So, you know, is it fair? You know, I don't know. If you're
right.
owned by the same person, the same, you know what I mean? It's tough to say. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
No, I feel you.
yeah.
So overall, but you do have Man City.
Yes, going
Gotcha,
through, but not
gotcha.
winning. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so that pretty much wraps up. I would say our first episode. We said we wanted to try and keep it under an hour. We're probably approaching that mark.
Yep.
So for whoever is listening and who's made it this long, I think we should just kind of point out. I think we're gonna aim right now tentatively for like Mondays and Fridays, kind of cover the weekend and then kind of give a preview going into the weekend as our podcast goes. Yeah, cool, right? Monday, Friday, hopefully.
Yeah, that's cool with me. I do want to leave this podcast with a little cliffhanger for next week.
I also and I also want to cover one more little thing we missed. Just
Yep.
kind of because I was making the tags this morning. You saw it. I have we're gonna cover some of course sports is number one, but we also want to hit some societal things and some cultural things as far as like music and things like that. So I think you
Yep.
kind of know where I'm going with
Sure,
this.
sure.
So overall, yeah, Monday and Friday, that's the tentative outlook, but overall, we'd like to get at least 2 episodes a week, if not, maybe break it down a little bit because I feel like this episode maybe we could have broke it down into two,
Yep,
one
yep.
episode, one episode. But yes, I want to hear your cliffhanger. But first, before we go into that, we need to talk about one more thing we missed. We completely just shot over it when we were talking about the Super Bowl. Rihanna,
Oh
what are we
shit.
thinking? What are we thinking?
Listen, real quick, not to run too long. Um, bangers all around.
Oh my God, unbelievable.
Bangers. I mean, all her songs are incredible. There's no argument. But coming off back to back, Shakira, J Lo, and the banger of last year, which
Oh
was
my
Dr.
fucking
Dre,
God, yeah,
Eminem. I think the show lacked a
yeah,
bit, and it's not her fault because she's
no,
pregnant. And I suspect she signed this deal with the NFL, let's say last year,
mm,
before she was pregnant,
yeah,
and obviously it happened.
things happen,
So
right?
they weren't going to cancel, and they kept her on. For the bangers that she has, I expected more of a huge
Right,
production and her dancing like she used to. I mean,
yeah.
how do you sing Umbrella without a fucking umbrella?
Without
And
Jay
like,
Z too,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you could have had the
And he was
rain
at the
coming down.
game. Jay
Yeah,
Z
I
was at
mean,
the game.
you don't think they could have had the rain coming down,
Right,
like I don't know, like I mean, the little bit of the spectacle for me was
right.
missing. Again, she's pregnant, so I understand.
Mm,
But I mean, bangers, but for me lacked
yeah.
performance.
I
Yep.
definitely agree with you. I forgot growing up how many great songs Rihanna had. I was
Same,
definitely jamming.
same.
The overall physicality of the performance, yeah, it wasn't her normal. I feel like dancing, things like that, but I do give her so many props for being pregnant and getting up there. She could have easily said no, fuck this, and
Yeah.
and
How far along is she though? I mean, if she's 2, 3 months, I mean, I think you can still pull it. I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not a no,
I'm
but
not a duck. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, look, she's a generally pretty small woman, and she was
yeah,
poking pretty big. So
she
I wouldn't be
was. She
surprised if
looked
she was
big.
4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And to get
maybe.
out there, I definitely give her props. But
Look, her
overall, I
her
think
belly was like almost as big as Igor. So I mean, shit.
Wonder
Yeah,
Igor,
yeah,
Wonder
exactly. So
Igor. Oh my
yeah,
God, he looked
but
like the shibbity dub Christian. Oh
it's
man.
for real.
All
Yeah,
right, so
but
let's hear it. We're gonna start wrapping it up. Let's hear what's the
look, I got
cliffhanger.
three cliffhangers
All
right
right.
for next
Yeah.
episode. I just want to hear your takes. Don't try to substantiate your opinion. I just want to hear one or the other. I got three topics to hit you with. Okay, so very simple. Get your thoughts. Who's the GOAT, MJ or LeBron?
Off the bat, you already know we've talked about this in private. We could discuss it definitely on next podcast. I am a LeBron guy through and through. Real quick, I don't think there's a debate after the scoring title, but again, we'll get into
Come
that
on,
next episode.
son.
We'll get into that next episode. We'll get into
All
the next
right,
episode.
I'm an MJ guy just for the record. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Next one again for next week: Messi or Ronaldo?
I think we both agree here. Ronaldo. Never been a big
CR7.
Messi fan.
Yep.
I don't
Plus
like
Messi
how he did Man
Argentina. So
United and doing that whole Piers interview. But again, whatever. He's 38. Go live your life.
yeah. And last one: Christian versus alcohol.
Oh, you put me in a tough spot here, man. I think alcohol gets the knockout in the third round.
I think so too.
I
I
think
think
so.
so too. I
Again,
think
though,
so too.
we'll have some in-depth analysis next week.
Yep.
Hopefully, next episode, maybe he'll actually join us on the show
Yeah,
and
we'll
stop being a
introduce you
bitch.
guys to our boy Briz.
Yeah. Diehard Jets
babies.
fan, diehard Jets fan, diehard Knicks fan. Pretty bad take in sports, but hey, it is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty bad taste in sports. Not take. His takes are all right sometimes, but
Yeah,
overall taste is
eh,
trash.
debatable. All
All right,
right.
boys. It's been
Listen.
real. First
Yep.
episode successful. We kept
GG's.
that shit flowing. I hope you guys come back, listen to some more. We're gonna
Yes,
go ahead and
sir.
get this edited. Hopefully, get it on Spotify as soon as possible. Hopefully, not too long after the Super Bowl and not too close to our next episode. If you guys listen through the whole thing, I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had some fun, learned some stuff about us. We'll have a lot more information coming throughout our journey. You'll learn more about us, learn about more about sports takes, and maybe you'll see things from a different perspective.
Some of our boys too, right? We want to introduce them to the
Definitely,
SPL,
definitely.
Christian, Igor,
Fabian, diehard
David,
Cowboys fan. He's gonna be our
Greg.
Michael Irvin.
As long as
Christian out
Greg is
here.
not flying out somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
I don't know if Greg has Wi-Fi on that plane, but we'll see.
Yes. Yep. Yep. All right. It was
All right,
real.
it's been real. Catch you
Peace.
guys soon.
Peace.